I've seen things you wouldn't believe. I've seen stars
so many
on
stars.
fire. I've seen sea beams glittering off Tannhauser Gate.
I've seen hospitals.
I've seen an hour and a half long hospital scene at the beginning of Metal Gear. I've seen some shit, man. Anyway, welcome back, guys. This is the podcast where we talk about anime and other things, featuring yours truly, Mr. David Klein, and then my co-host, Senor Stefan Vargo.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
So,
Muy bien.
that was awful.
That was
awful. Never try and speak Spanish again.
I'm a southern boy. I don't speak other languages too well.
All right, well, we already got sufficiently stereotypical today. So thank you all for tuning in again. Please check out everything else we have on BitBlast Network. I have another show called Retcon, more about the American comics. Please check out Escape from Hollywood, Sportscast, Food Around Tampa. Everything's really exciting. If you want to get a hold of us, you can find us our Facebook page, titled the same thing as the show, the one where we talk about anime. You can find us through the Retcon. Through the BitBlast
Retcon, man.
through the BitBlast page. You can find us through, and then you can send an email to us at podcast@bitblastnetwork.com. So, hey, how you been this week, man?
Pretty good. How's your week been going?
I mean, I've spent any moment that I have not been sleeping or working, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5. So
that's what everyone keeps talking about.
And everybody's correct. They need to keep talking about it, but never tell me any spoilers.
Well, from what I heard, it's like apparently it takes like 45 minutes before you actually get to start actually shooting people.
Oh, yeah, that's one dude, actually. You get to shoot one dude, and then there's another about 35 minutes of intro.
Yeah, see, that's the issue I'm having with games now. They're so... I mean, I love story.
It's not gameplay list, though. I think it's the perfect introduction to the type of game you're about to play. You can get through it. I think you can speed run through it if you know exactly what to do in 40 minutes, including all of the watching the cutscenes and everything. But I mean, I took a little over an hour, I think.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I'm having problems with a lot of these games today is just too many cinematics that you're not getting enough gameplay.
I don't think this is the case in that one. I think there's a lot of cinematics. There was, I believe, in 4, almost 3 hours of cinematics if you decide to sit through all of them. It's a Hideo Kojima game, so it doesn't you're gonna have that crazy weird story and you're gonna love it.
It's the last one.
It's the last one he's involved in, so I'm not playing any more of them.
I don't think anybody else is.
Yep. So anyway, that's probably the Japanese game of the week. Probably the Japanese game of the year. In all honesty,
probably
I mean,
most of the game until Star Wars comes out.
Yeah, no, I think I'm probably not going to buy anything else. I mean, I bought Persona this week. I bought Persona Q, which is
is that good? I was going to pick that up.
It's really fun, actually. Aren't they doing a new Persona anime too?
Actually, I'm not sure.
I think one got announced for next year. I'm not positive. But to address some things beyond all that.
God Eater is going on right now.
God Eater is going on right now. I haven't watched the show.
It's better than the Blaze Blue adaptation.
A loyal listener out there has repeatedly told me to watch it. So I plan on it. I'm planning to watch it this week. The game, though, God Eater Burst on the PSP is a ton of fun. But by all accounts, it looks pretty. I've seen the intro, which was as far as I got into an episode before I got pulled away to go to work. Intro is really pretty. Looks pretty solid.
Yeah, they're doing the weird CGI 2D animation thing where it's not CGI completely, but it's not 2D animation completely. It's that weird cell shading.
Yeah, which can work in certain cases. Appleseed, I think, is one that was done on Blender. But Appleseed is a case where it works.
That was more of completely 3D.
I know, but they had 2D backgrounds and things. Zoids and some of the newer Gundams, or Zoids is an old example, but I think where the blend of 3D and 2D animation work well. The case that doesn't are the
where
new...
they use CGI to enhance the anime in certain fight scenes or stuff like that. This is the whole show.
I know, I'm throwing things out. I would say a case where it didn't work well would be the Berserk movies, the new Berserk movies.
The first one, yes. The second one, it seemed like they
did get a little better, but like the first movie, I mean, story-wise, it's Berserk. It's going to be good. I could go on for days and days about Berserk, but the animation like made me want to die.
That's actually, it's like I love Berserk, but I wasn't in a rush to see these movies because of that.
Yeah. Just go find the Berserk Blu-rays. They're really hard to find, but go find the Berserk Blu-rays because they look gorgeous. They make the old 1996 animation look much better than even these new movies. They're perfect.
Yeah, it's like I'm loving that all these old animes are getting these nice, clean Blu-rays.
So to address some things, we had from one particular listener out there, you know who you are, Jeremiah.
Yeah, make sure if you got any opinions or something you want us to cover to post it on the page because we're going to touch whatever you guys post.
Compliments and nice things, we probably won't read those. You send any hate mail my way, I will absolutely read it. I will read it out loud and I will react to it for you. So please, send hate mail our way.
David loves the hate.
It's true. It's the only thing that gets me through the day. So... he brought up an interesting question of what the best anime movie is, and he threw Akira out there as an example. And I would be hard-pressed to tell him he's wrong. Akira is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love Akira.
I have an Akira poster in my house, and I own
have to
a
go
Kaneda jacket.
Into Studio Ghibli and go Princess Mononoke.
I don't think that's even the best Studio Ghibli film.
For me... Princess Mononoke is my favorite anime movie.
I mean, if I had to pick a Ghibli movie, it'd probably be Howl's Moving Castle.
See, that one's really good. I love they got like Billy Crystal and Christian Bale to do voice acting for it.
I love Christian Bale in that movie, legitimately.
Doing his Batman voice.
Only when he turns into a bird. Howl's Moving Castle, spoilers, by the way, I guess, for a 15-year-old movie.
15-year-old movie. The Blu-ray looks amazing.
It does. I mean, if I had to pick the best standalone anime movie for me, that if I went, here are anime movies that can mean can mean something to people who even don't like anime. Ghiblis are easy to pick because they're basically the Disney Pixar of Japanese animation.
The Disney of Japan, basically.
It's just like anybody can basically enjoy any of their movies. Aside from your favorite Princess Mononoke, I don't think that one's as easy to show to kids because it's kind of disturbing.
Yes.
I think that's definitely an older... I think I first saw that when I was 11 or 12. I would have to go with either for non-series related... If it's related to a previous series, End of Evangelion is the best movie of all time.
I knew you were going to throw Ava out there.
But that's not really an accessible movie. As just a standalone movie you don't need to know anything to approach to, I think Akira is fantastic. Or Perfect Blue.
Oh my god. I can't believe you just brought up Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue is, for those of you who don't know, if you've ever heard of David Lynch films like Eraserhead... or the Twin Peaks show, that is basically like that idea. I forget the name of the director on it off the top of the moment. Maybe Satoshi Kon. I think that's right, but I might be wrong. It's an incredibly just messed up movie, but like
it's very psychological.
Yeah, it's not a movie that is a like messed up kind of gore fest or this something that's screwed up for the sake of being a fucked up movie. Mm-hmm. It's something that very much has a point to it. The basic story is you're following this girl who's like a pop singer, like an idol in Japan, and she's getting stalked by this guy. And that is the basic premise of the movie, and it goes into just some really weird places and
Yeah,
thoughts
it's
about like
she's
personal
going
privacy.
from the regular pop star into like actual serious acting and stuff like that, and this stalker, and I don't really want to give it away, but basically, doesn't like where she's going and changing because she's his pop star or whatever.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie about like the perception of people, and I think one of the most powerful just standalone. Like you can go show that to people who don't like anime and give them a couple minutes, and they will forget they're watching something that's animated. I think because the characters are all so real and they're all very live. Like I love a lot of other movies. I'm going to name drop my favorite show again. Ghost in the Shell is another one that I would say it could definitely stand alone and is meaningful of impact. But there's a lot of great anime movies that are also just like, well, it's a great anime movie.
Yes.
Like, I can't go show people the rebuild of Evangelion movies and expect a amazing response, except for maybe the third one. But it's just like, they're great anime movies.
You have to really, it's like you're watching Ava and stuff, and it's an anime, it's all really out there, but you watch things like Akira,
Ghost in the Shell,
Perfect Blue, of these could be regular movies without it being an animated.
And hey, we're getting that American Ghost in the Shell movie coming up with ScarJo as the Major.
I thought that got dropped.
No, it's on hold. Like that project's still happening, but it's just happening slow.
I think it's going to go join Cowboy Bebop in its wholeness.
No, I mean the Akira movie that keeps getting talked about got dropped again. Thank God.
God.
I think Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the
Cowboy
Shell
Bebop,
could
Akira.
both very much be live action movies that could be done well. I think Cowboy Bebop could have been done really well 10 years ago. Get younger Keanu Reeves to Spike.
Keanu Reeves.
People are upset about that. I honestly think he would be the perfect Spike. He looks like him.
He fits that Spike character of he seems like he's a druggie, but he's just like,
and it's just
really
like
mellow.
They kind of have the same attitude, but when they need to be badass, they can be badass. Like he's the perfect Spike. I've seen John Wick; he could probably still be Spike. I think Cowboy Bebop is something that could very much be done. It's a little out there at points, but it's all style. That style can be edited just slightly, and it could be done in a wonderful movie. I think Ghost in the Shell can very much be done as a live action movie, especially
definitely with the rise of kind of the cyborgs and the AI movies coming out lately.
You just adjust that story a little bit to being basically make a not Apple company be the people producing the AI, and it's just like, okay, it's almost a timely story.
Yes.
So I guess that there's our answer. It's a hard to pick what. Like, if you're looking for a younger skewed kind of moral tale, go find a Ghibli movie. If you're looking for something, mad crazy, go look for some Satoshi Kon or 90s cyberpunk movies.
Akira.
That said, Akira does have like the best closing scene of any movie ever.
Where everyone's like dead.
But it's not everyone's dead. they've been like they've been given this second chance of everything was contained, and all of the awful things that were going to happen to the world are blinked away across the universe, and then you get that Adam and Eve moment.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't like them, but
it's going to happen.
And anime, bro.
She's used to it.
Wrong character. That's awful. That character got killed a couple minutes beforehand. It's an awful thing to say.
Oh man.
And then once again, you're getting a lot of airtime this week, man. We were also thrown out the classic debate: Macross versus Robotech.
Oh yes.
Okay, so those who may not know the story of Robotech is Robotech was this one company basically got licensed to 3 different low-costing licenses from Japan to produce for American Air, which was Macross and then 2 other mech shows that I honestly forget the name of. And I know I'm not being super informative, but it's mostly like Robotech is 95% Macross, and then the last couple episodes use pieces from this other show to fill in some things.
Yes.
But they didn't like the very 70s, very Japanese script of Macross. And they just added in like these American values and just were like, hell yeah, they added this character Roy Wheeler.
America.
It's like very like they took what was this like Japanese space opera that ultimately culminates in kind of, you know, love and the power of music being able to save things into G.I. Joe.
Yeah, pretty much. That explains Robotech pretty well.
Which and then like Lisa became the Americanized version of Minmay. And no, Minmay is the Macross girl. I don't care. She is.
It's like I like Minmay as a character. I just cannot stand her English voice actor.
It's amazing.
It's that like high pitched screeching sound that just like it's nails on a chalkboard every time I listen to her.
You know, I'm not sure I've ever actually watched Macross in English. Like you say that, I was about to like throw out a defense, but I've honestly don't think I've ever watched Macross in English.
Yeah, see, I used to go to Video View and pick up the VHSs. For those that don't know, Video View was out way before Blockbuster.
I know. For a second, I was like, God, the last time I saw one of those, I lived in Oklahoma. I went back there for a minute. Yeah, that was the mom and pop kind of local version of.
But yeah, Miname's voice actress just, I don't even remember who it was, but it was like a...
Did she do her own singing?
No.
Did they just dub in the Japanese songs instead of...
That was the thing, and it saved cost in a lot of the old animes to where they would never actually dub music in. They would just leave the original song in.
And wait, this is a jump. Was it or in high school where like Vic Mignogna sang the theme song instead of leaving the Japanese theme song? Where he's like, we'll translate it and I'll sing it.
This is the reason why he has so many fangirls.
Dude, I love it. I don't care. Vic kills it. So I have a story. This is an unrelated story, but this is a semi-related story.
All right.
I've told this in private before, so this is going to be the first public telling of this story. So we were at MegaCon together a couple years ago now. I want to say, 3 or 4. And I have this issue. I can't go to the bathroom in public.
Yes.
I can't do it. It's just, it's awful for me. I have to go home or go back to the hotel or whatever. And I just had a moment where I was like, things are getting real. I'm not going to make it. I have to go to the bathroom. And so for those of you who've never been to the Orlando Convention Center, it's huge. It is absolutely freaking huge. Like there's like 4 or 5 different halls you can go into. So I leave the main convention. I basically get lost, wind up at a completely different convention hall. There's nothing going on. And I find an open bathroom. I'm like, yes, this is going to be the moment. I go in. There's a row of stalls. I go in. I go to the bathroom. Barely get in there and sit down and hear the door open. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is someone... But it's going to be fine. This person, out of the row of stalls, there's probably like 8 stalls in there. It's a big bathroom. Picks the stall next to mine to sit down. It was the most uncomfortable 15 minutes of my life. Maybe it was only 5, but like it felt like it dragged on forever. So eventually, I'm just like, things got to happen. Just go ahead, get business done. And I go up, I'm washing my hands, and then I hear him flush, and he goes washing it. I look over, it's fucking Vic Mignogna. Also, apparently, is a shy bathroom person. And looks at me, and I'm like, we don't say anything. And like, I've got the MegaCon pass on. Like, he understands that I'm, there for the convention. But I'm just like, I'm not going to say anything to you. I was just like, I liked you as a voice actor, and now you are a person who poops next to other people in public. That's my I pooped next to Vic Mignogna story.
You just had that moment of we're both uncomfortable poopers.
Like, I felt simultaneously closer to him and more angry at him than I have most other human beings on the planet. And I was just like, really? Like, and that's not normally the celebrity story people tell, right? They're like, oh, I got to meet a voice actress or an actor, and I waited in line for them and talked to them for a minute. And I had a real organic encounter with another human being who has forever ruined a significant amount of English voice dubs for me, because he starts talking and I just go, you poop next to people in public, Vic.
Next to me, man.
I'm like, shut up, Ed Elric. I can't watch FMA Brotherhood in English, even though I like all of the other voice actors. No.
No. Oh, man. Well,
on that
note, we do have some interesting news coming out.
Hit me with it. I want to know.
We've got a new, I can never pronounce it right, but Utawarumaru.
You were so close. Utawarumono?
Yes. The False Mask is a new game coming out at the end of September here.
Are we getting a new show?
We're getting a new show that comes out in October.
That's exciting.
25 episodes.
I mean, I'm excited.
It's Aqua's 20th anniversary.
Are they going to just like roll in all of their characters into it then?
It's going to have a completely new cast.
Okay.
The only thing we really know is the main character, once again, lost his memory.
Has a mask. Yeah, that's how
he doesn't have a mask, though.
Lame.
The antagonist has a mask.
Okay.
But it's not Hakuro. However, the old cast will show up at some point, they said.
So, Iruwaru, for short, because we can't pronounce the whole name. It was pretty wonderful. It was a ecchi strategy game, kind of.
No, not really. I mean, it's the furry's dream, because all the characters have like furry ears and tails and stuff. But it was a PS2 game that got a quote H game for the PC. However, those scenes are literally only one scene, and that's it. And you can even play without it. You can actually cancel or choose not to have them.
I mean, I personally played the PS2 version, which I guess didn't have any of that in there.
Yeah, the PS2 version did not.
The game is kind of it's a lot of
strategy,
fun.
But it's kind of like a
it's Fire Emblem but slightly different. There's it has different strategic elements in it, of where some, like, depending on the character, where in Fire Emblem you would just pick attack and then they would just do their attack, and you get a chance to crit. You'd hit attack and then it was like, okay, now you have to hit this combination of buttons, and no matter what, they're going to do the attack, but like you can, like, okay, you've equipped Chris Patton's character, whose name I forget, who's the guy with two swords. You can Otaro, and it's like, okay, now you have to hit like square, square, triangle, or whatever, and he would do a particular combo. I mean, the best character is the White Tiger, and I don't mean like there's a man named a White Tiger.
Like the tiger.
There's literally a tiger.
In the anime, I like the tiger because, come on, it's a tiger with like impenetrable fur. But in the game, he was really weak. Like, he kept dying constantly.
You gotta boost that mofo. It's exciting news. It wasn't really a show or game that needed a sequel, I think. It wrapped up pretty well.
Yeah, it had that ambiguous ending of, it shows where everybody is, and then it kind of goes to Elulu and just like... It shows her looking somewhere and smiling, and you just think, oh, okay, Hakuro showed back up at the end.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's always exciting to get to revisit a world that you didn't think you were going to. Aqua's pretty cool. They had that great fighting game come out last year, Aqua Plaza.
Oh, yes.
So I'm always excited to see them do more work. More relevant to my interests is an interesting news story this week. I think actually last Saturday now. Production IG, who did they've done a lot of anime. They've done a lot of things. They've helped out on Ghost in the Shell. Yeah. They've helped out on Evangelion. They've helped out on IGPX. They actually, I think, completely produced. And that's just 3 just things out there. They've done a ton of stuff. They've been all over the place. Actually purchased the rights for Fooly Cooly out from under Gainax.
This is the greatest news that could come out.
And they have said that the multiple things they're going to pursue are new release of Fooly Cooly. So I think we got Fooly Cooly Blu-rays a year or two ago.
Yep,
but they were
my Blu-ray
but
case.
they were okay transfer. They looked about the same, but we're going to get some new releases of Fooly Cooly stuff. We're going to get re-release of the manga, re-release of the show and everything, maybe with some new extras and everything, as well as production of a new series potentially.
That's the news right there.
And there's been no real announcement on anything, only that the rights for distribution have been purchased. That said, I've been asking for years, and there have been rumors for years that they're always going to do, Gainax was going to do 6 more episodes.
It's like, with Fooly Cooly, it didn't need any more. However, everybody wanted more. Just because it was so random, so out there.
And yet at the same time, very poignant and kind of sad, honestly. Yes. It was something I was going to talk about here, because this week, as we promised, we're getting into some sad stuff.
Oh, yes, the depression.
But since we're on it, Fooly Cooly kind of makes me sad. I mean, the last 2 episodes, because
because he grew up as a kid.
I know, it's like he grew up, but it's just like he actually. There's that line at the end where he's like, I guess things really don't happen here, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, he grew up as a kid. He's got to stop chasing his dreams, but then it does that, and it's like, if it was right there, it was like, okay, well, not stop chasing all of his dreams, but
stop his dreams, but stop having to live up to
his older brother and all that. But then it has that moment there at the final scene, which I think is one of the best final scenes of anything ever. And maybe it's just because I've grew up with Fooly Cooly. I was of the generation of people where Fooly Cooly was consistently on Toonami and Adult Swim for years. If it would go away and come back every summer, and they'd play it through 2 or 3 times. But they have that scene, and they focus in on the bass that's still lying there in his room, because he still, carries. And then the string plays, and then it just cuts to that song by the Pillows.
You're just going.
And it's so sad. Like, it's something that's, I don't know, it makes me sad every time. But I love it. So I'm very much excited. Now, what would you do? What do you want in a Fooly Cooly sequel? Do you want more of the same? Do you want him to do something different?
I really want to know about Mishima, or
Medical
Empire.
Mechanica,
yes.
And their Empire and Adamus.
Because that's where all the stuff that's coming out of Taku's head is coming from, and we don't really dive into that at all. Mm-hmm. Except for how they plow over Earths or planets and stuff.
So you don't want to see the same characters again necessarily. You just want more of the universe. You want to go see
a little more of
the Space Police chasing Medical Mechanica, and maybe Haruko chasing Adamus.
Well, it's got to have Haruko in it. If it doesn't have Haruko, we don't need Takun anymore. We're done with that group. But we can still go with Haruko and everything, because she's still chasing Adamus and everything, because he ran off at the end.
I mean, me personally, I don't know. I'd really like to see an actual real time, 15-year jump. We're coming back and checking in on these characters 15 years later, and it's Takun just graduating from college, and it's just and you see that his life started to okay, but then. You hear the scooter revving up, and
she just shows up at the gate.
She shows up again, and she's hits him with the guitar, almost play the opening scene again, but slightly different. The characters growing up, whatever, and then have them go on through space or whatever. But now he's the mature one, and the story's now about it being okay to remember being a child. Or it's okay to still have fun, and see how he's progressed from being this kid who's trying to hold on to having fun to being someone who's, I don't know, an accounting major. Not that accounting majors aren't fun. My mom was an accountant.
I think that would really fit for the Japanese culture, only because the Japanese worker, their hour, people over here complain about their hours. It's nothing compared to over there.
Virtual slave labor.
Yeah, it's they're working 12-hour days or more.
Oh yeah.
And then they have to go to required eat outs with like their bosses and stuff like that, or with clients.
There's a great video of a guy who
weak life
of a Japanese salaryman, of a guy who was half Japanese and was working in Japan for a couple years, of where he, and y'all can go find this, we'll probably post it up under the description, where he, like, it showed his 7-day lifespan. It was something like he got a total of like 3.5 hours of just time to himself.
Yes.
And it's something like 17 or 18 hours of sleep, and everything else was work or preparing for work.
Yes.
And it's just absolutely awful. I mean, we all have bad weeks.
That would probably fit for Japanese audience, because we have to remember it's Japanese animation. They're making it for that market. They're not making it for us. So I guess that would actually fit more of Haruko coming in and like seeing his life as it is now, and trying to like brighten him up and show him that it's not just...
Like, okay, and you still get a lot of the silliness and the random things that have happened in the first one. And Haruko's a little older now, but it's going to act exactly the same, of course. And it probably is his dad and his grandpa, if his grandpa's still around. But I would love it. I'm really excited. I hope something does come of it, and they don't just have the rights and decide to not do anything with them.
Yes.
But I can't imagine they were cheap. I know Gainax isn't exactly the juggernaut it used to be, but I mean the name still has weight. I can't. Production IG co-produced Fooly Cooly with them, so they do have some right to it already. But I can't imagine that it was just like a couple $100, even a couple $1,000 to get the rights to Fooly Cooly.
Yeah,
like it had to be.
But it had to be a nice, pretty penny.
No, I mean, it's no Star Wars.
It's no Star Wars.
It's not $10 billion.
We did tell our group that we were going to search on the condition of Sunrise.
Okay.
And what they've been up to.
Hit me with it, because I didn't look at anything. You said you were going to. What's Sunrise been up to?
They have been making more shows.
Okay.
Just never realized that it was done by Sunrise.
All right.
Love Live.
Makes sense.
Was done by Sunrise.
Love Live.
And one I actually did a review for, Cross Angie.
Missed that
was
one.
done by Sunrise. That's a mech series.
Okay. I mean, Sunrise mech series are generally the best current mech series.
And they also got Battle Spirits Burning Souls.
I have no clue what that is, but it sounds metal as all hell.
It's basically Card Fighter Vanguard is basically what that show is.
Never mind, that's so disappointing. I was hoping it was like Iron Maiden's
it's
playing.
It's got like this really epic name, and then like I watched the first episode, I'm like, this is just Card Fight. This is just Vanguard.
I wanted like Iron Maiden to be playing, hard cut, shirtless dude, huge hair, and he's like fighting like hydras or whatever.
He does have huge hair. He's got this really huge red spiky hair.
Yeah, like get that, but he fights like hydra. I want heavy metal basically, but not heavy metal 2000.
One you might be interested in is they did do Metal Suit Gundam, The Origin.
Oh yeah, no, that's wonderful. That's good.
Which is the adaptation of the old manga.
Yeah, well, or the Origin manga, it started coming out in the mid 2000s, and it came over here recently in some really wonderful hardcovers.
Yes.
I had not personally seen hardcover manga before. I've seen a ton of hardcover comics because I'm very involved in the comic book world. But it had like triple volume, like those big, like 3 omnibus size, but hardcover.
Yes.
And they looked really nice. I actually have the first 4 volumes imported from Japan in Japanese. They were a gift from a friend a long time ago. But Origin is the sped up, kind of better paced version of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, where they take out some of the not necessarily filler because they had things to do, but like Amuro learning to pilot the RX-78. Like, we don't really need a whole arc about that. We can have an episode about it.
Yes.
I do think that him reading the manual while piloting it, learning to pilot it, is basically the best introduction to anyone learning how to pilot anything ever. Of none of this Gundam seed. oh, I just know how to pilot it, or like, I feel like I was meant to do it. Here's the instruction manual. Step 1, how to turn it on. But the origin anime is pretty fantastic of getting that sleek. But it was only a couple OVAs, right?
Yeah, it was only a couple OVAs.
I mean,
but at least now we know that Sunrise is still making stuff, and they're not just gone.
I know. I had that moment last week where I was just like, oh no, whatever happened to Sunrise? They must have changed their fade-in logo where it doesn't have the little Haro jumping in, because I feel like I always recognize that.
Yeah, that was the thing. I haven't seen that, and that's what threw me off. Because I did watch Cross Angie, and I didn't see that at all, so I didn't even know it was done by Sunrise. It must be because they're working on the new Gundam series. They're just kind of producing the other ones and letting like small companies actually work on them.
I mean, I'm about it. Giving newer animators, new animating teams going on. All right, real quick. We're hitting here in the final stages of things. Favorite sad anime. We were going to have a whole segment. I know we promised it. We were going to leave people in tears. But on the odd mood, I know I very much live in the depressing, sad media world. I know you're very different.
I like uplifting. I like being happy when I finish watching something. However, probably my two favorite depressing, like I had to do two because I couldn't choose between them, and that is Samurai X Betrayal and Trust.
Okay.
And Vampire Hunter D.
Hell yeah. These are both... I am so happy. Those are both two of my favorite things
it's
of
like,
all time.
I went and if you ever watch Cinema Sins on YouTube, he does like everything wrong with, and he just recently did like the Twilights.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to go watch Vampire Hunter D, because for those that don't know, Vampire Hunter D is the best romance story between a vampire and a human.
I'll agree.
I mean, the whole thing...
spoiler alert. It doesn't end well.
It does not end well, but D lives.
I mean, so there you go. There's all the spoilers. That said, it is go watch it.
It's like, it truly shows like if a vampire and a human were going to have a relationship, what they would have to go through. And it was just such a beautiful story, and it had great fight scenes between the different hunters and everything, and it was just so emotional at the end there where they're in the carriage.
And and that's
I don't want to ruin it because I really want you guys to watch that, but that really eats at you, man.
And I believe they're actually producing some more Vampire Hunter D that's either come out in the last year or coming out new, like soon.
I don't know if it'll hold up to that movie.
But the original Vampire Hunter D movie is, go check that out. That's fantastic. And then Samurai X, which I can illuminate for them, is a lot of you may remember Rurouni Kenshin off of that used to show on Toonami all the time. It was another kind of staple anime,
dude.
And he's like, he's like kind of. It was that mix of serious and comedy that was very popular and shonen at the time, and paved the way. I think a lot for a lot of the stuff that's still kind of going on of your Bleaches, Naruto's, your One Pieces. I think a lot of that style can be attributed to Kenshin. However, there's these great set of movies called Samurai X that basically adapt portions of the manga that never got made into the anime that took place in the past before the series started. And they're uncensored, hard R. The show, a lot of times, it's sword fighting, and yet a lot of times the swords didn't have blood on them. You saw a lot of people fall over, and there was a lot of, and it wasn't just necessarily the American censorship. It was in Japan too. There was a lot of, it was kind of cleaned up. They'd fall over into a pile of blood, but you didn't see people lose limbs or see a lot of the effects of war here. And this is full blown
people getting
the
their faces cut in half.
Yeah, this is during the warring states of Japan era, and you actually like before the restoration of the show takes place. If you've not seen it, you can definitely go watch it without ever watching the show. They're their own self-contained story that is made more powerful by knowing the characters from the show. But I think they're everything. They're what I compare every samurai show to.
Yeah.
Action, a love story, tragedy.
It's just, you wouldn't really think of it being depressing because it's Kenshin, and you're like, well, you know where Kenshin's going. He's going to go be happy with Karu and everything, but you get to actually see why Kenshin is the way he is now as a result of these movies, and just like you get to learn where he got his scar and just like his emotional turmoil as a 18-year-old boy in this war.
No, they're definitely one I thought of. Going through for my favorite kind of melancholy, sad things. I have two as well. I'm going. One was a debate. I had a debate between saying Saikano, which we've talked about previously, or this other series called Serial Experiments Lane.
Oh God!
And I went with Lane here. And you heard his reaction. Lane is creepy as all hell.
God, I cannot get over her.
It's basically the basic premise. The basic premise is, this girl gets obsessed with technology, with her computer, and it's kind of the birth of this very virtual entity.
Yes,
like it. And it's made all the more poignant because this was made before smartphones and everything. And literally, it's about being plugged in constantly into the network of the internet.
Yeah, it's kind of like where people were losing themselves. They were either in the virtual world or they were in real life, and that line was really getting merged with each other.
Getting very blurry.
Yeah.
The way this show was originally introduced to me, which I think is still poignant, and when I asked somebody who wasn't you said just said no, I didn't finish it, I didn't like it, it freaked me out. I asked
Mainly
somebody
because Lane the way they drew her eyes just is the creepiest thing to me.
And she looks at the camera a lot.
Yes,
part of it, like she knows you're there and is judging you. I really like that. But this girl I was in class with, and this was an art class back in the day, she goes, yeah, it's a pretty good show if you want to be suicidal when you finish it. And I went, yeah, sounds good to me. And then my other pick, did you have something to say about Lane? You looked like you had something to say. My other pick is another thing we've briefly talked about, I believe.
The ultimate weapon.
It is not Saikano, because it's up there, but that one doesn't make me as sad. It is a sad story. The point of the story of that makes it better to me, of, live while you can, like make the best of the time. And this is specifically for the anime. This isn't for the manga, for what I'm saying. But saddest anime for me is Elfen Lied.
Oh, yeah.
The manga goes farther and has some redemption there, but...
Yeah, it's like... Elfen Lied is still to this day in my top 3. And
I just found a tag in my shirt.
It's like Elfen Lied, very depressing throughout. The best example of true forgiveness. And
I don't think Elfen Lied used to be ruined. Here's my cautions to those of you who hear me say Elfen Lied and go look it up. The first 2 episodes, or even first 3, it's only a 12-episode show.
Yeah.
The first 3 spend a lot of time shocking you, and that's kind of the point so it builds your character a certain way. The main character, Lucy, is literally naked and murdering people for
the first
5 minutes of the first episode. And then that's still the majority of what she does for the rest of that episode.
But you really learn why this is happening.
But it's a show where, like, if I wasn't aware of what it was, it'd be a type of show I'd hate, because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of fan service. They're doing this thing. It's a show where, for once, every single kind of moment where there's the fan servicey nudity actually means something, because it's meaning things about like the innocence of character, and things don't look like how they seem, or don't seem like they look.
And it's like they're not even treated as human. It's like one of the scenes that really gets to you is where Nana, one of the characters, is given a tie by the guy she calls dad. Like, she doesn't even have a family. The guy that takes care of her and still doesn't treat her like a human, but at least doesn't like smack her around.
Yeah,
gives her a tie, and she treats it like it's the greatest thing in the world.
Like, she breaks down fucking crying. Like, it's a show that gets me. It's one of the couple things in the world that will make me cry. There's an episode. There's a moment near the very end, which I'm not even going to mention the characters that take place.
Yes.
Steve and I know what we're talking about. There's a moment near the end of the show, and those of you who have seen it can probably guess, where two characters who have it's revealed the depth of their relationship to each other, and then it is the end of their arc, and a quite explosive ending, and it is the
pretty much, if you
saddest,
don't cry during that, you don't have a soul.
Yeah, it's like watching Littlefoot's mom die.
I would put that on that level. Yes.
Yeah, it's real sad. So that's, if you want to go depress yourself this week, please go check those out. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, because I have to go play Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, God, Metal Gear.
I'm basically a corporate show for Metal Gear at this point. If they would love to start paying me for my advertising, I'd be more than happy to accept it. So thank you all for coming back. Thank you all for sticking through. You're basically the best. I love you.
Yeah, make sure to check out our Facebook page. Post whatever you guys want us to cover, or if you have questions or
post silly pictures, do whatever.
Hate mail.
Please give me your hate mail. That's literally all I want. I'll make fun of the guy who keeps trying to say Robotech's better than Macross. You'll know the one. So I love you, man. Seriously, let's hang out sometime. But all right. So thank you all again. This has been the one where we talk about anime. Your daily look in.
Thanks for checking us out.
Hail Satan.